Hello, and welcome to this one-off special edition Introduction to Level 6 Module 4's November 2022 exam, which the theme is Managing Waste in the Supply Chain. So this is Level 6 Module 4, the Future Strategic Challenges. So the first thing I want to talk about here is the module aims. And the module aims is quite simple because the volatile global environment possesses a threat to the traditional concept of international trade, but it also presents strategic challenges to the procurement and supply function and profession. So us, the strategic procurement and supply leaders, we're required to have the knowledge of all those present challenges of our functions and our profession, and we need to be prepared for them for our future strategic challenges, and we are going to undoubtedly face these. So Level 6 Module 4 is designed to challenge us in the procurement and supply profession to look ahead and to consider the future strategic challenges, not just for yourself, but also for the wider profession. Now, the odd thing about this particular exam is there's only 2 learning outcomes. So the first one is about understanding the changing needs and requirements for procurement and supply. So this is quite holistic. And the second one is about the future challenges for the actual profession themselves. So I'd say the first one is more to do with the theme. The second one is more to do with us in procurement and how we can be better prepared for some of these future strategic challenges that we all face. I mean, there's never been a better time, really, when you think about it, to be looking at something like this, because in the last few years, our profession has gone through such a turbulent time with all sorts of things, from COVID to Brexit to gas shortages to price hikes. I mean, procurement really is very much in the spotlight. So the theme, managing waste in the supply chain. And now what you need to do is some very focused research around waste. What's happening? Maybe look at some news articles that are currently out there in the media. Think about the theories. Think about how you can build all of this into your contractual clauses. And what I've done is I've jotted down a few relevant theories that I think might be helpful to brush up on. So you've got Kaizen, 5S factors. That includes the sort, setting, order, shine, standardize, and sustain. This is all about incremental improvements where over time you will get better, and it's a lean methodology, so it is about removing waste. You've got 6 Sigma, that process of making use of statistics and data analysis to reduce errors and defects, which is obviously a waste. And the purpose is to improve cycle times, reduce manufacturing defects to no more than 3.4 defects per million units. And you use the model DMAIC, which is the roadmap for 6 Sigma. And the letters, very short, stand for define it, measure it, analyze it, improve it, and control it. Then you've got Tinwood. This is the 7 waste developed by the lean manufacturing experts at Toyota. The acronym stands for 7 wastes that we commonly find in supply chain. And they all basically add cost, but no value. So the first one being transport. Second one, inventory. Third is motion. Fourth is waiting. Then you've got overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. And all of these are wastes in their own right. But thinking about the logistics one just for a second, maybe how we can get around, say, transport is to do some reverse logistics. So that might be something to look into too. You can always lean on steep order analysis. Obviously, this explains how these 8 specific macro environmental factors can influence a product, a brand, a business, a location, from something social, technological, economic, environmental, political, legal, ethical, or democratic. And obviously within the environmental section, you've got waste disposal and recycling that's heavily mentioned, but obviously politically and legally, you've got, the political mandate linking to, say, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We've signed up to these things. We've got COP27 happening right at the moment. And then, of course, with the legal aspects, every country has kind of implemented their own laws that try to manage waste. The triple bottom line concept, an accounting framework that looks at three parts. You've got the social, the environmental, and the economic, or most commonly known as the 3Ps: people, planet, profit. And this has been helped to evaluate performance from a business perspective in a much broader perspective to create business value. And that comes courtesy of John Elkington, who sort of put this in motion probably in the early 1990s. You can lead again on the 5 rights. Obviously, you've got price, place, quality, quantity, time, and obviously getting those right reduces waste in the supply chain. You can link them to key performance indicators, having things like on time in full, less than X amount defects, etc. But I think probably focusing more on the quality aspects. If we can get quality right, then that's going to help us to reduce waste. If the case study is more about the government, it might be relevant maybe to use the theory of the 3 E's. So you've got economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, which are commonly described as the 3 E's. So economy is about getting the right inputs at the lowest cost, or getting a good deal. Efficiency is getting the most from those inputs, or getting a lot for the efforts that you're putting in. And effectiveness is about the expected results from an output. So doing the right things. So economy, save money; efficiency, save time; and effectiveness, do the right thing. You could use value stream mapping. Again, it all depends on what the case study is about, but value stream mapping, also known as material in and information flow mapping, a lean management method for analysing the current state and designing the future state for a series of events that a product or service might take from the beginning of the specific process until it reaches the customer. You've got the waste hierarchy, a tool used to evaluate the processes that protect the environment alongside resources and energy consumption. The most favourable to the least favourable actions, looking like an upside down triangle. So the hierarchy establishes preferred programme priorities based on sustainability. So when it comes to waste specifically, we're looking at reducing the amount of waste we produce, trying to reuse things, repair things, recycle things, maybe even recover it so it becomes like a biofuel or something. And as a last resort, it goes to rot, which is to end up in the landfill. And that's the very bottom of that upside down triangle, is the least favoured option. You've got just in time, an inventory management strategy that reduces waste, increases efficiency by receiving inventory only as they're needed for production and not ahead of time. I referenced the Sustainable Development Goals already, but obviously these come courtesy of the United Nations. They're a collection of 17 interrelated goals designed to be a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, not just now, but also in the future. These were set up in 2015 and are intended to be achieved by the year 2030. And each one of those goals links to the triple bottom line. There'll be people ones, there's planetary ones, there's profit ones, and they are all interrelated. And maybe the final thing to think about is corporate social responsibility, the idea that a company should play a positive role in the community and consider the environment and social impacts of business decisions. So you move away from kind of focusing just on how much profit you're going to make, basically. You need to think about the impact. Now, this is not an exhaustive list of theories. It's just a few thoughts that came to my head when I saw that the theme was about managing waste. Now, I don't know if you know this, but SIPs offer a free e-learning module on this particular one. I mean, I've never used it, I'll be totally honest, but what's the harm in trying? If it's free, I would certainly recommend going on and having a go at this free e-learning module. And then the second thing I want to tell you about as well is another lecturer that I'm familiar with, a guy called David Deering. He does a very great job, actually, of pulling together some revision materials that's way, way more detailed than this video that I've just pulled together for you. And I wanted to signpost you to him in case you wasn't aware of him. As you can see from this, this screenshot, he's got a couple of revision choices for you. So you can just get generic revision notes or something that actually centers more around the particular theme of this exam. He even did a webinar, which I think you can get a recording of, you know, if you want to access that. And then just the video recording only. So you have some options really about, you know, what kind of support you might like for this module. And if it's something you can afford and something that you would find valuable, I would certainly recommend you using David's revision material. I will put a link to his revision material on my comment, in the section of my video. I know that you have to scroll right to the bottom to get this. So when you click on the page, there'll be all the other kind of module material, but go right the way to the bottom and you'll see this particular one there. So my final thoughts really is about time management. You know, you've got enough time to get through this, but look at the questions that the exam is asking you and divide your time up equally so that you stand a good chance of getting a good mark. You know, don't spend over the allocated time on one of the questions and then find yourself running short on the second one. Give equal time to both, or however many. I think there's 2 questions, but I think that, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 questions, but give equal time for those 2 questions, because if you spent 2 hours writing the first one and then you run out of time for the second one, that's potentially 50 marks that you're going to lose. So really, really focus on that time. But other than that, I want to wish you the very best of luck for this exam. This should be one of the very last exams you're probably sitting. So I'd like to think you know exactly what you're talking about. And this is just a helpful reminder that gets you in the right frame of mind for the exam. But yes, all the best of luck. Let me know how you get on. And yeah, take care. Thanks for watching.